My brain.
Let's get the chat going. Connections. Connect. I'm connected. I think we're good. There. Where's my heat? There's my heat. Where's my heat? All right, fellow travelers. It's time to hit the road. We're a little early today. A little early. We're going to have 2 trips today. 2 deliveries, 2 different trips. It is a little before 5 o'clock a.m. here in Hampstead, Maryland, 35 degrees. Feels much warmer than yesterday. I don't know if that's because there's less wind. All right, let's try that. That's better. Here we go. We are headed down to Baltimore County. Oh, hold on. I got that side up. I can't see it. There we go. All right. Wow. Gotta wait for traffic. What the heck? Holy. There's another one. What the heck is going on? The earlier you are, the more traffic. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, so it's still cold, but not as windy, so let's do this. Okay. Got everything going. Batteries are charged up, speakers on. Another day. Midday deliveries are kind of a little bit later. Not bad, but yeah. So I ordered, yesterday I mentioned that I was getting a holder, an attachment for the phone so that I could just stick it to something metallic. So the phone has already got a magnet on the back of it so that I can hook it to this. That's the way I have it hooked to the windshield. But I wanted one that would also attach to something metallic, right? Like this is attached with a suction cup because I want to be able to just like pick the phone off of there and then using the other attachment, just stick it to like someplace in the back of the van if I was going to show you the donuts and stuff, right? Or even if I was outside the van, I could just stick it on the side of the van. I wouldn't have to set up the little tripod, which is very simple. It's a very simple tripod, but I could go even less than simple, if you know what I mean. So I ordered it. It was supposed to come last night, like between 5 and 9, I think, was the original Amazon promise. It was a promise, and they broke that promise. They didn't deliver last night. I did get an email from them saying, sorry for the delay, blah, blah, blah. Click this button if you want to cancel your order. Well, I'm not going to cancel the order. I just need a little patience. But hopefully it'll be there today and I can play with that today to see how it works. saw people trying to like blow their leaves or rake their leaves and stuff. It was not a day to do that because you had no control over where your leaves were going. So I looked at the weather. It's going to be sunny. It's not going to get terribly warm until late. This is Wednesday, so I think over the weekend it's supposed to get like maybe back to the 50s during the day. Because now I have, piles of leaves along my fence where the wind blew them over the past day and a half. So I need to do that. But it's still too cold, and today I'm not going to do that. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not driving tomorrow. So tomorrow will be project day. Figure out something to do. I realize every time I take a sip of coffee, I heard this the other day. Like, I do that little thing where I go like, hey, I do that like a bunny rabbit after my sip of coffee. Now that I said that, you're not gonna be able to not hear it. You're welcome for that, by the way. A slow one. We got a slow one, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. 303, 303. That wasn't coffee, by the way. Let's just do that. This morning, I had like one of those little messages on your phone where they're telling you like the rain's going to start in an hour or that kind of thing, and it said snow showers expected in the next few hours. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I didn't notice when they sent that message, so I'm reading it at like 2:30 a.m. I don't know if they sent it then or they sent it earlier, but there was no sign of any snow shower. And when I looked at the weather online, it didn't mention snow. It's going to be sunny today. Now, it is kind of cloudy, but right now, but it's supposed to be sunny later. But I thought that might be exciting. We might see some snowflakes, but we're not. I know some parts of the country are getting snowflakes. It's Indiana where they're getting the snow. I don't know why I thought it was Illinois, but it's Indiana. I did my major accomplishment yesterday, and I feel very good about this accomplishment. My major accomplishment was to get I had to switch my health insurance. I didn't have to, but I was coming close to a point in time where I would need to get new coverage. So I figured now's a good time to do it since it's like open enrollment for everybody. And so, but here's what happened. So, I guess I started this about 1 o'clock, 1:30 yesterday afternoon. And I went online and I started to fill out this, it was like the Maryland connection, blah, blah, blah.org. So I go online and it comes up and it's like, basic information it's asking you because it was saying you're going to get a quote. Or you're going to get a list of quotes that you can compare. So I went through it was like maybe 3 or 4 screens that would pop up, basic stuff, name, address, all that kind of stuff. And email address and phone number. Well, I'm always like, before I enter my email address or my phone number into a website, I usually really, really like stop and think about it because I do not want to get all the emails and the phone calls or text messages and stuff, right? But I'm like, I gotta do this, so let's do it. I did. Well, when I pressed the button to say get a quote, of course it didn't come back with a list of quotes, which is what you would hope for. It came back with like a list of different, I don't even know what these other entities were. Like maybe there are people who manage signing people up. It looks like, I guess you can't go directly to the providers. Complicated process. But so I clicked on, so it said get quotes. So I clicked on one of them. And that's where I started going down this tunnel of like, now I'm talking to, they're asking me a lot of the same questions again. I'm like, maybe I'm not in the right place, so I went back out. So anyway, I'm playing around with that, and then all of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. And I wasn't picking it up because I wasn't even done trying to figure out what I was doing online yet. But there's my phone sitting next to me, and all I know is it started at 1:20. At 1:20 was the first phone call. For the first 5 minutes, my phone hardly stopped ringing. It was like ringing, and then it would stop for a second, and then ringing. It was ringing non-stop for 5 minutes. Then after that, it started to like trickle down to like every 3 or 4 minutes, every 5 minutes. I can't even tell you, well over 20 phone calls. And then I started getting text messages, and all these people saying, hey, I received your request to get some information. All these people are just reaching out trying to sign you up. I'm assuming that, they sign you up and then there's some commission for them in the process. So people are very eager, and I was getting bombarded with this stuff. So I kind of looked at it. I was like done with the online stuff. I tried a couple of different places to see if I could get a quote. Any quote. Nothing. So I finally, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to got this list of like 20 different, and a couple of them, there might have been one or two where it was the same number twice, but not many. They're all different numbers, all over the place. Although, the other thing is very weird is the phone like tells me where the call is coming from, like not a caller ID name, but it would at least say Maryland. You know, like but all these weird numbers were coming from Maryland. Like exchanges I'd never seen, you know, phone exchanges I never saw before. 267, like all these other numbers. Anyway, so I'm looking through the list of calls I had received, and one of them looked like it was a legitimate name, like some kind of health insurance connection. I don't know what it was called, something like that. But it looked like, at least it wasn't just a phone number, it was like a legitimate name on the call. So I'm like, all right, let me call them. So I call that number, and it was amazingly good. The guy, his name was James, and I guess he's my agent. But he was amazing. Like, he just basically went over. He didn't make me, you know, like, he had a lot of the information there, because I guess whatever that's sent to them has all the stuff you plugged in there at the beginning. So he didn't make me repeat any of that, really. Just, like, I had to confirm, obviously, my information, like name and birth date and stuff like that. But anyway, so he's looking through. He's, like, asking me what coverage I have now and what am I interested in, and what, you know, like, what's important and all that kind of stuff. And so he got, I mean, I have to admit, I was kind of afraid what the number was going to be, and it was a little less, close, but a little less than what I thought it was going to be. So, very good experience. You know, I mentioned to James that I got like a bazillion phone calls. And he's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, once you hit the enter, you know, once you submit that information, like everybody gets it. I guess it's the busiest time. Well, it is the busiest time of year for them, but I guess they're just looking. You know, everybody's out there responding to all these requests, but." I really, once I got him, and he kind of walked me through the whole thing, and I'm still not totally clear on the name. Like, he works for some kind of state. It's somehow connected to the state. Because when I said, well, who do you actually work for? You mentioned something. It sounded more like a department within the state government. So, but whoever or however they have it set up, it works once you get in, but it's a little overwhelming at first. But once you get somebody to help you, it's good. So I got that all set up. So that's a big thing off my mind. Probably a good business. I mean, not the business of healthcare, but the business of helping people coordinate that process. If you learn that, that's probably a good job. Probably a good job. I mean, will AI be able to do it eventually? Probably. Would it be, you know, if you think about it, 6 miles, 6 minutes. Think about it. You know, there really isn't anything that I discussed with him that I couldn't have put in filled in on a field and had the computer look it up. But I think at least for the moment, I don't know if AI will ever be able to pick up this skill, but for the moment, it's good good to have somebody kind of like say, all right, this is important to me. What are my options? How would that, you know, like if I go for a lower deductible, but I know I'm going to have a certain, you know, like let's say you're somebody who gets a certain kind of test every year, like an MRI or what's it called, ultrasound or something like that. If you know, if you had a history where you said, all right, this seems to be something that happens to me every year, my doctor does this every year, then you want, you know, you've got to kind of consider that. So, I mean, if you could put all that into the system, I guess that would be good, but I don't know, it kind of feels good talking to somebody, I think. couldn't get something. You can't get it in 2 days. 2 days? or sooner, actually. It's amazing how that works. Arkansas, we got somebody from Arkansas. And New York. So there's New York on the car to the left and Arkansas in front of me. I gotta represent. Get it right, everybody. Fasten your seatbelts. Make sure they're tight. Arkansas's not messing around up there. Tomorrow I'll have my new thing. Yeah, I thought I hit you. There you go. All right, I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Delivery number 1. they're all in the back. So where would you call these crazy critters? Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I gotta use. These aren't even mine. Okay, these are not even my glasses. Don't look. Don't look. Contacts. Come on. There we go. All right, they're coming. Here we go. Well, nobody won the Mega Millions, so I still got a chance. $965 million. Folks, I'll be right back. See, if I had that other thing, I would just like pop you up there, and you could watch me unload the. It'd be very exciting for everybody. right. Well, they're all in a good mood in there. That's always good. All right, let's go back to that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Back to the bakery. Our second load. Second load. Alright, we good. So I know I didn't win the Mega Millions. You know, I have a ticket, but I guess I should check my numbers. See if I won anything. I could have won something. Whoa, my God. I still haven't cashed in my one ticket. I won $35 the other day. Gotta get that money. Two things coming from Amazon. One is the phone holder, and then the other is I got this thing that's going to help me. I think I mentioned it before, where I'm going to get setting up a charging station in my house. Like where I will charge all of my devices. There's one spot, I come home, put everything there. My Bluetooth speaker, Starlink Mini, I just plug them in, good to go. Tired of looking for the right cord. Where is it? We'll all be in one spot. Tucked away. Looking for like a shelf that we can put that on. We're hitting all green lights, have you noticed? It's good. I was thinking the other day, does Krispy Kreme, like I only put one kind of donut at Krispy Kreme. Do they put any toppings on their donuts? Like I guess I should know that, but I don't know that. Like the only Krispy Kreme donut I'm familiar with is like, and they're good. I mean, I realize their competition. They're good donuts, but I don't think they put anything on them, right? Do they? Maybe they do. We're all just sitting here. Every direction is just sitting, waiting. the health insurance guy that I talked to yesterday. I just thought of this. You know how Hobby Lobby's closed on Sundays? I got a story about that someday. But the guy that I was talking to yesterday, I mean, and I guess they probably do this. You know, it's probably a thing that they do. But he's like, all right, now if you have any questions or you need anything, here's my number. This is my. He gave me his cell phone number, but I'm sure it's a work cell phone number, right? But he's like, I mean, because yeah, he gave me this. He's like, this is my cell phone number. You know, anytime you need to call, he said, except Sundays. I don't pick up the phone on Sundays because he goes to church. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I mean, I'm not calling him on Saturdays either. Probably never calling him, but it is nice to know that he's there if I need to call him. I thought that was pretty nice. I mean, don't you think they're sitting there signing up hundreds of people a day? Well, maybe not hundreds. Because the process takes a while. So maybe he signs up 10 people a day. 15. I don't know. Even that adds up over time, right? You don't want all these people calling you on your cell phone. Hey, I'm standing here at the hospital and they won't take my insurance card. I'm sure he gets calls like that. Maybe I should start giving people my cell phone number. Definitely not. I think I gave about 100 people my cell phone number yesterday, unknowingly. And they all wanted to be my friend. Oh, the other thing that he did. So, you know, I told the guy that I was getting all these calls. Because even while I was on the phone with him, I was getting calls. And I at one time I mentioned to him, I'm like, you can't imagine how many phone calls I'm getting. He's like, no, I know. He's like, that's what happens. You hit that button and it goes, you know, it sends out the message. Everybody gets it, blah, blah, blah. But then he told me he said, I forget exactly what you do. It's hit the pound key, and then there were two numbers, 62 or something like that, maybe. Don't do that. Because I really don't know if that's the number. I wrote it down yesterday. But he said you hit pound, these two numbers, and then pound again, and then you hit like you're going to make a call, right? So you've got your phone open, you hit pound, blah, blah, and then pound. And it puts you on some kind of do not call list. There's a deer on the right side just back there. There's one over on the left. Deer warning, deer warning. I had another family member hit a deer. Everybody's hitting deer. Mine was very minor though. Like I said, it wasn't really a hit, it was a bump. But it was scary, but it was just a bump. Scary for the deer too. I think the more I thought about it, I think it became a bump, and I think the reason I didn't have any damage was I had really slowed. Like I hit the brakes hard, and I was coming to such a stop that at the moment I hit it, I was almost stopping. You know, like maybe I hit him at like 10 miles an hour, maybe. Like I'm sure I had gotten my speed down, and it was just the very end of his butt. So I'm sure he's still sore. Poor guy. 70 miles an hour right now. I wonder if I could ever get a ticket. Like, can you get a ticket? I wonder if that's ever happened. Somebody watches a live stream and then the police come rolling up to you. Vibration noise you hear. It's like steady. I think that's a 70 mile an hour, 70, 75 mile an hour rattle. So, this road's very smooth. Bringing it down, bringing it down. Logs on it. We passed somebody like that yesterday or the day before. You're gonna see Christmas trees out here soon. Start buying them. I mean, it's almost the middle of November. It's crazy. There is a car, when I come up here in the morning, before I'm going to work. Well, not before I'm going to work, but before I get to the bakery, right? So I'm leaving, this is on my commute up. So at this point it's like 4:30, 20 after 4:30. There's a car, and I see him like maybe once every week or 2 weeks. There's a car that, even if the light is right like this, right? Light's red, the other side's going. He just doesn't even stop. I mean, he just like, I'll be sitting here like this, waiting, and the guy just comes right up next to me, rides right past, does the wide turn, goes up. I mean, he doesn't even flinch. Now, it is an hour earlier. Almost, yeah, an hour and 15 minutes earlier than that. So there's this line of traffic. There's not as many people on the road, but still, every day, every time I see him, he does that. He doesn't even hesitate. It's like it's a turn in the road. But I'm not filming at that point. Maybe I should. Maybe I should film my trip up. It'd be very easy. No, I'm not doing it. where the deer is. Watch. Right hand side. I don't know if you're going to see him. There he is. Whoop! That's my deer right there. He's been there for, we're going on like 4 or 5 days now. So, you know, I think this has been extended viewing period. He needs to go. I guess the birds are not getting to him because he's so close to the road. They probably can't gather around. Feast. So that's one thing to consider. If you're ever out in a field and you feel yourself gonna die, you want to find a spot where you don't, well, unless you want to be eaten by crows, but like maybe a spot where there'll be some traffic, or there'll be maybe under something. Something to think about. Software and see if there is a way to pause the live stream so that or but I wanted to pause and then have have something on the screen that said something like, I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Further delivery excitement. Electric. I like it. I didn't think I was going to. I'm sort of a gas combustion engine kind of guy. I like them. But this battery operated lawnmower I got, it's a Toro. It's good. I like it. Very convenient. Like in the winter I can just take it downstairs, keep it in my basement. Don't have to worry about the gasoline and stuff. intersections already. There's a house up here. As you're getting up to Hampstead on the left-hand side on Route 30, there's a house that has like lights. They have year-round, but they do different colors. Like in the summer, non-holiday, it's just sort of a white color. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but I kind of like them. I like the way they're set up. Now, if they can change them, like now, right now, I think they're doing green. Yeah, they're doing green. Oh, no, they were green. Now they're red, white, and blue. They were green earlier. Red, white, and blue makes sense because they probably did Veterans Day. But even under normal circumstances, when they're just white, I like the way it looks. They were not beeping at me. I just want you to know, somebody had an issue, but it was not me. Steady flow today. I guess I don't always see this because sometimes if I'm going directly from delivery location number 1 to delivery location number 2, if I'm going directly from there to the second stop, I don't come up this way, so it's quite a flow going the other way. Non-licensed Christmas music out there. Let's start playing that. All these YouTube shorts with people dancing and doing stuff to music. It's the real song. Like it is the artist playing music. How do they do that? Unless, I noticed that like most of the time it'll have underneath the title of their clip, it'll have the name of the song and the artist. So does that mean you can do it if you, I mean, it wouldn't be practical if you were playing music on a station where it was changing all the time, but unless you had some process. I wonder if that makes it okay. Down that route right there, the ones that are coming toward us. Those people are moving sometimes. It is 6 o'clock a.m. The bakery is open at 6 o'clock. So, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys on. What the heck, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. Unless it looks like it's going to be a really long time. Then I'll come out. Anybody need anything? Want something to drink? You need to stop in the restroom? Now would be the time. Let's turn that off. Okay. Take my trays in there and see what's going on. All right. So a minute or two, I'll be right back. Please hold. To fill up my coffee. Nah, you know what? I don't even need to. I didn't need that much. We are good to go. 6:11 a.m. in the morning. All right, we're headed to our second delivery spot. Seatbelts on? Everybody good? Yeah. Okay. These guys that I watch, the other delivery people that I watch, makes me realize that I talk to myself a lot. Now, I am talking to myself more now than ever before, because in my mind, I've kind of got myself set to think that even though no one is usually watching, that's going to change. Someday there's going to be a lot of people watching. So I'm trying to prepare myself for that. And someday somebody's going to send a live chat message, and I'm going to hear it. It hasn't happened yet. Everybody, you can be the first, but I can't tell if somebody's looking. And viewers, I have no idea. I mean, there is a number on the screen, but I can't. But I'm not doing it. Now, I am thinking about, speaking of reading glasses, I wear contacts, and I'm thinking about getting the contacts where you can, like, adjust so you can still read. I was thinking about it. I tested them out, and I think they work. But I didn't go with that route the last time I got my contacts. And I might give that a shot. I see cows over there, but they're all laying down. That sign said that it's a cow crossing kind of thing. I assume that has to be a coordinated effort with the people that run the farm. I'm pretty sure cows just don't cross the road spontaneously. Like deer. You can't control a deer. No controls. Oh, here's my... Definitely when I'm holding my cup of coffee, I don't use the jersey. No excuse. The sun comes out, it might actually be a good day today. It's a bit sunny, so gotta get some vitamin D. That was one of the tests, one of the things that they tested. I saw vitamin D, and I wasn't like really low, but I was toward the lower end of okay. I had to boost that up. I sit in the sun all the time, but I guess it's probably been a few weeks since I had like any extended period of time, other than like cutting grass and stuff. Christmas where you exchange names, so you don't have to, you don't buy Christmas gifts for everybody. You just have one person in the family, adults. So my niece sent out the link to the place where you can go and put in your gift ideas and stuff. But I can't remember what our dollar amount is. I don't remember. I think it was $50. Is that crazy? 20, 50? I think it was 50, but I gotta ask. Janet, if you're listening, please send me a text message and tell me how much it is. I think it's $50. But I don't want to list out the things that I want. You know it's going to be some live streaming equipment. But yeah, I don't want to list that out until I know. I remember when my mother was alive, she was crazy with gifts. It would start like around Halloween, and then we would just get deliveries. And this was really before Amazon was a big deal. So this was at FedEx, UPS. It was coming to the house almost every day. She'd see stuff. She got into shopping online, but she would order it. I do think I need to change the names of my live streams, like modify it somehow. Maybe, I don't know. stop at the Starbucks and see if they have those barista cups. I mean, if they were $20, I might go over there and get one, but I think they're 40. And it's a cute cup, but I'm not sure it's worth $40. Like a lot of my, I gotta look over. I like to occasionally review like the previous year, just to check all my things that you're subscribed to and channels. And all that stuff can add up and be wasteful very easily. And you've all had cases where like you've got some subscription you've had for 5 years, you signed up for it originally and never use it. So I think I'm going to do that. Get all that set up before January. Because now I kind of know a lot of my numbers are like set. Like things like your phone, Xfinity, cable, Starlink. And I know what my health insurance number is going to be. My income. Well, that stuff's pretty set up, so I should get a pretty good idea. It's funny when you retire, it's still hard to like kick the saving money idea, right? But I thought about it the other day. Like I was trying to think, because I always think about it like your expenses, your costs, and then how much can you put aside? Because I always kind of looked at it as an expense, right? So how much should you be putting aside in savings? Well, I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I'm retired, so do I really need to be saving? I mean, I guess you never want to stop, but I really don't want to stop. A little bit. Like, even if it's some small amount, it just kind of feels good to do that. But what am I saving for? For when I get old? Because I'm there. If you think about it, right? What are you saving for? I mean, obviously, like if you're putting a certain amount away to pay for taxes when that hits, property tax hits, or that kind of stuff. Is that the only one? Property tax? Oh, insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, all that kind of stuff. So for that reason, I guess it makes sense. But you don't have to have a surplus out there. So by the time you get to like retirement age, you know, break even's pretty good. You can break even and not be digging into too much into your retirement money. It feels weird spending that money, you know what I mean? That's just a kind of one of the things that's hard to get used to. When you get retired, you're like, you should be spending some of that money. Now I did, actually, a little bit. Because I had a gap between my last income and my first Social Security payment. It's a weird feeling, but it's good. It's a good problem to have. And then, you know, bound to win the Mega Millions. So then what do I do? done, which was literally like less than 5 minutes, it was considerably brighter outside. I didn't think it happened that fast, but I guess it does. As soon as the sun breaks the horizon. It's my planetary expertise. Since Georgia's on my mind. I've been to Georgia several times because I drive through to go to Florida. And I've been to Atlanta a couple times. But that was work related. So I don't really spend a lot of vacation time. Chances are, if there's somebody at the drive-thru, they just saw me inside. This person's buying a muffin. I'm eavesdropping on the drive-thru conversation. You know how I do that. Let's make a phone call. They're not there. Phone. What a day. Oh, there he is. Cool. Excellent. All right, we can go right now.
Sorry about that. It's the cold brew, the Diet Coke, the cup of ice, 1582, you know that. Welcome.
All right, I'll be back. Stay tuned. Dokie. Deliveries are done. Got plenty of gas. Yeah, we got plenty of gas. They'll be able to drive tomorrow without getting it, and then I can get it on Friday. check your surroundings. You gotta watch these crazy drive-through people. You know, you don't want to get in their way, man. You don't want to be between a person and their coffee donut. It can get ugly. Be allowed to stop there like that. At any rate, one car drove right up behind him, man, and just sat there. But really, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's kind of not. That's not good. That's not good. I mean, not this time of day. Maybe at 5 o'clock in the morning. Not at almost 7. has beef today. AJ eats beef, chicken, or turkey. There's 3 meals. I mean, it's a package, one of the packages is supposed to be a day's worth of food, so I break it in half. But today was beef. Beef is kind of the least volume. But, it has all the same amounts of protein and all that stuff. Like it's equally good for him, calories and all that kind of stuff, but it's just the volume of it is a little bit less. Turkey's the most, and then chicken. So we have this thing where he eats breakfast, and then he comes into the, usually that's, put his food down, and then I go back to my room to make the bed and stuff. And then he comes in when he's done eating. And depending on what he had, it's either beef belly, I'm like, yeah, beef belly, or turkey tummy. I don't have a good one for chicken. I was saying chicken chest, because if it hasn't made its way to his stomach yet, maybe it's passing his chest. But I don't have a good one for chicken. If you have any thoughts on that, please send me a chat message. But that's our routine. So he finishes eating, and then he comes back to the bedroom. And I'm like, yeah, there he is. He gets a little attention. I rub his beef belly, turkey tummy, or chicken chest. And then he runs outside. And he comes back in. He's all cold. He is scared though. He likes it. bought AJ these. I think they're called Minties or something like that. It's like, it's supposed to brush their teeth. It has like a recent kill. So it has like a minty, fresh smell to it and all that kind of stuff. And it's supposed to be, it's a weird shape, but it's supposed to be good for their teeth. So I give him one of these, like, not every night, but maybe every other night. But he eats it very weirdly. Like, he'll carry it around. And he's not like this with any other treat. Like this certain thing, when I give it to him, he carries it around and he keeps looking at me while he's got it in his mouth. And sometimes I can't even tell that he's got it, he'll get it in his mouth so that he's just holding it, but you can't, especially if he eats off one end of it or something, he'll just carry it around inside, you can't see that he has it. Truck's still for sale, 410-857-0054. That's 410-857-0054. Yeah, so it's the weirdest thing. And he'll go outside, walk around, and kind of look, and then he'll lay down for a second, and then he'll get up. He just acts really weird when he's eating this thing. I don't understand it. Sometimes I give it to him just to see him act weird. And it lasts such a long time because he doesn't eat it right away. Like every other treat that I ever give him, he just eats it and, boom, done. Not this thing. Yesterday I gave it to him, and he was eating it for so long that one time I was walking through, I went to the kitchen, I got something to nibble on, and maybe like I don't remember what it was I was eating. Might have been some almonds. And then I walked past him and I give him an almond. And he was very slow about taking the almond. I'm like, what the hell? That's weird. But it was because he still had this thing in his mouth. So he got the almond, and then he put it down in front of him, and then that's when I realized something's wrong. Something ain't right. And it was because he had the thing in his mouth still. It's weird. Another day. Another day. Another dollar. All right, another delivery done. Tomorrow is Thursday, so I will not be making a delivery tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday. I should have my little, my new phone holder, so maybe we'll test that out on Friday. I think it's supposed to be pretty much the same kind of weather. Same kind of weather, not much warmer. But anyway, have a great day. Anybody that was there, or still, no, I don't think anybody's there. I think it's a 0 there. Talk to you later. Bye.